Hello and welcome to this episode of Animasaurus. My name is Kim and welcome to the Spongebob Squarepants Sponge on the Run trailer review. If you're a huge fan of the original Spongebob Squarepants TV series, make sure you smash like now. So for this episode, we're going to take a look at the trailer that dropped at the end of 2019 for the new Spongebob Squarepants movie. What is it called? Sponge on the Run. So this movie is being put out by Paramount Pictures as well as Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon's got the rights to the whole series. So it's a partnership for them to be able to bring it to the big screen. Animated by Mikaros Studio. A big movie for them to actually get their teeth into, and they're handling the whole animation on the movie. And this is currently set for coming out on May 22nd, 2020. Let's have a quick history lesson on where SpongeBob fits into this animation world. SpongeBob was originally created by Steven Hillenburg. The origins of it come back from a comic he done way back when he was in school called The Intertidal Zone. He also then worked on a film called Wormholes, which then got him, after the film, he then got into working with Rocko's Modern Life, which gave him exposure to Joe Murray. Now, with some encouragement from Joe Murray, they developed a pitch for SpongeBob and developed it into which we know now as the Spongebob Squarepants. They pitched it originally in 1997. After the pitch, they basically got given a budget for 2 weeks to write the script for the pilot called Help Wanted. Now, the first season was completely done in very old-fashioned cell animation, which is what gives it such an awesome feel. It was all done hand-drawn cell animation. It was split between the Burbank studio in California, who done the original storyboards and up to the outlines, and then they sent it off to South Korea to do the ink and paint before coming back to Burbank for final. The first full CG version of it, done all in computer, was done in 2008, some 10 years after the original pitch. So SpongeBob has been around for quite a long time. He's had a 9-season run, and through those 9 seasons, he's had 204 episodes created for him. He's also, during that period, had 2 previous movies done. One of them being a full 2D movie, the Spongebob Squarepants movie, and the other being a 2D with a hybrid 3D special effects part at the end, which is the sponge out of water. So this is then going to be the first full 3D CG movie of Spongebob Squarepants. Now, the first time I heard that, I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh, is it going to translate well? Now, for me, I get excited by the whole idea of conversions and what's been done. Some of my favourite films, if you followed my channel, you know I love Charlie Brown, and what's come out with some of the Dr. Seuss stuff has been really awesome, done in 3D as well. But, of course, it's always a little bit whether you can nail it or if you can't. Depends on the IP and depends on who's steering the ship on whether you can actually nail the authentic or not. So let's have a look at what the trailer has actually come up with. Start off with the lines and directions of the film. It looks very clean. If you look at very original 2D direction, so clean lines, similar drawing lines and directions. Like with a shot like this, it's very much about drawing attention to the main character. If you look at SpongeBob, he's right in the center of the frame to start off with. He's completely circled by a frame of light, and everything outside that light is then dark. And to top it all off then as well, all eyes are then directed at him as well. So all of that is really keen direction for being able to create nice, clean composition within a shot. Next thing we're going to have a quick look at from the trailer is just the simplicity of it. While it looks incredibly simple, which comes back to being, its origins of being 2D, the texture work and the amount of detail that's in each frame is really, really good. Like, if you look at the sand on the ground in this shot, it's really detailed. There's a lot of texture put into that. Even if you look at the hatch work on the back, around the walls and the hatch along the benches, it's incredibly detailed for a simple shape, which is, if you look at Gary, he's not much more than a couple of circles, and SpongeBob is definitely just a cube. But the detail that's put into those very simplistic shapes is immense, which brings it to life. The colours as well on the SpongeBob trailer are really oversaturated, and they pop a lot, which I guess is when you look at SpongeBob's target audience, it does really create a overwhelming sensory experience. And again, with this one, you look at the simplistic shapes, especially on a big screen. This is really exciting to see on a big screen, that the detail that is in there is immense, but the shapes within the frame are all very clean and very simple. But the color, again, oversaturated, really bright, looks fabulous, and yet you get to something like this particular frame, there is so much going on, there's so much color, as well as contrasted between the bright city they're heading into, as well as the dark foreground, as well as the light leading you into where they're going. It's all very exciting within its simplistic framing. Another thing which I found really, really key about this particular trailer is the center focus. While a lot of animation gets cluttered about where it goes and what they want you to focus on, this SpongeBob trailer has been very clear about what they want you to look at, because it's all exactly dead center. Majority of the shots are really easy to follow, which comes back to their target audience being a lot younger. They don't want them to be searching around a big screen to know what to look at. While there's so much detail around in the background, you can basically look at the center of the frame really easily and be able to pick it exactly what they want you to be looking at. And I think that's really clever within the sphere of the movie, is to be able to make it so straightforward, to have a very visual, a very exciting visual, authentic. The other movie which I really loved for the way that they handled this center focus is, if you go back to the new Mad Max, which was brilliantly focused dead center on the lines. That was always where you needed to look, especially to follow any action that was going on. While there was so much going on left and right and everywhere else, if you actually picked your center point, it was clear what the storytelling point was. The other thing which is really great about SpongeBob is, while they're using CG and complete CG, they've got the curvy lines and the stretchiness for animators to play with. And if you look at that facial expression, it's really brilliant to be able to bring that stuff into CG, where you can, take the mouth and put it over that side, or grab the eyes and have them facing in the other direction and bend those stretchy limbs. Again, it's not something that CG really pulls focus on, to go back to this cartoony sort of feel, which is another thing I really dig about the direction they've taken this SpongeBob movie, is keeping that real fun cartoon feel about it. The other thing for me which lands really, really well is the comedy to it. Anyone who gets SpongeBob is going to love, the authentic, SpongeBob lines in it. The misdirection of language which goes along with it, and the fun kid focus, which, we won't get distracted by anything. Yeah, you look at them here. Their eyes have turned to lollipops with all the lights. The jokes land really, really well, and they stick to brand on, who their target audience is. So for SpongeBob, Sponge on the Run, what was my thoughts on this? Well, after that ramble, you can probably guess I'm pretty excited about it. I can't really wait for May 2020. And for the trailer, I'm giving it 3.5 sponges. So, awesome. So if you've got this far and you've enjoyed this review, please subscribe. And until the next time, bye-bye.